Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. How are you doing? How have you been? Thank God it's Friday. We're done with another week. We can have some rest now since it's weekend. Hope your family is doing fine. I hope your week wasn't too stressful for you. For those that work 8 to 5, um, I hope you've not had a hectic work week. Transportation, going to work, coming back, the climate change, flood. Um, Hopefully you rest well this weekend. So today I just want to talk to us about it's basic also, something basic, but something essential that I think everyone needs to know, or most people know about it, but not everyone knows about it. And I feel if everyone can implement this, it will go a long way in cultivating some new habits that will be very nice moving forward. The last time we spoke about habits, how habits are formed, um, the part of our brain that controls habit, the part that controls starting something new for the first time or learning something new. So if you can recall from the last time I was live, we spoke and we're like the basal ganglia controls repetition of habits. That's where habits are stored, like a permanent hard disk. Then the prefrontal one is one that is for learning something new. We spoke about that the last time we spoke. Yeah, if I can remember correctly. it's been a, it's been like 2 days, I think, since we had that conversation. But that's fine. So today we're talking about wealth, basically. When one speaks about wealth, you see, if you're not having billions and trillions, it looks like you're nowhere to be found. But that's not the case. You know, everything that you see that is big started from small. And before you can become wealthy, there's some habits you need to have. You need to have some habits that would guide you in managing your finances. So basically, the way it works is a child is born, a child is nurtured at infancy, then after a while, the child goes to crèche, kindergarten, primary school, secondary school, university. After all of that, is to do what? Get a job or to start something, to use what you've learned so far, the experiences you've gotten, the education you've gotten also to earn a living, basically, you know. And most times, if we're following the pattern of education in university to learn a specific skill, so a specific knowledge of a particular career that we want to go into, we end up starting our lives in the labor market, working for somebody. Most times, we don't start up as entrepreneurs, we start up as working for somebody, first of all. That is if you follow this university route, though. But if you don't follow this university route, you might not go to university, but you might end up start learning a skill or a hand skill or a trade, you get. And after you learn it, you have to serve under somebody for a while. When you're serving under somebody, that means you'll be working under the person, not via formal job, but more like via an arrangement. It happens in the Igbo entrepreneurship system, whereby you learn from somebody, you get, then after maybe 4, 5, 6 years, the person like kind of gives you your graduation ceremony and empowers you with some funds to kickstart your own line of that same business. But most times, if you go to university and you learn a particular course, let's say electrical engineering, you might see yourself applying for jobs in oil companies, applying for jobs in um, any company that has an electrical engineering department. You can easily fit in there. you know. So let's start now. I'll go through both side of the coin, but I'll start with the one of formal education, which is university. So most times when you start working for a company and they employ you, you have a fixed salary. You get, And when you have a fixed salary, you're paid only once a month. But basically, moving on, as we're moving on, you see that there are things you need to imbibe. There's some cultures you need to imbibe in yourself so that every time you get paid, there are things you need to do. You get, and there are some calculations you need to do before you can now start spending on some other things that might not really matter so much, you know. So that is for formal. Then for informal, like I told you, it might take like 5 years before you can get a bulk of money and stuff. But basically, making money is number one. To make money, you need to have value. You need to exchange your value for time. Then whoever is paying you will pay you for your time while you're using your value to create value for them. Both informal and informal. You need to have value, and value now might be your knowledge of a certain course in electrical engineering or in medicine or in nursing or anyone it might be, or it might just be your ability to learn. That is for the informal, your ability to learn from the organ that you're working for, the boss you're working for. You get, so in both ways you have to be earning money first of all. When you start earning money now, the next thing you now need to now look at is, because when you start earning money through career, which is 8 to 5, wake up by 8 o'clock, you get to your office, you close by 5 o'clock, you come back home. When you start earning money through that route, you need to eventually have it in the back of your mind that I cannot keep on doing this forever, because I can be sacked at any time, or I can lose my job at any time, maybe based on anything that happened, or the company can even close up at any time. Get, no company is above bankruptcy if the management are careless, So you need to have it in the back of mind that I'm doing this for now, but I'm not going to do this forever. If that stuff is at the back of your mind, that consciousness will keep you. You will not be too relaxed. You will not feel like you can retire from there and stay work there for 30 years, then retire and maybe earning pension. No, that mindset will not be in your mind. Once you have that mindset of, yes, I'm starting my career by working in this company, but you shouldn't have the mindset of I'll remain here till thy kingdom come. You should have the mindset of I'm here for now to learn, to save. You get, to learn, gain experience, and also to save up some monies from what I'll be earning monthly, on a monthly basis. Because if you look at it, life has three phases. There's a phase for you to learn, that is um from childbirth to like 25 or thereabouts, 26. Then there's a phase for you to now work. You get, when you use what you've learned to work, and you can earn like maybe it's like 50, I think, or 40 something. Then there's a phase for you to now relax and reap the fruit of your work. So if you spend all your time working for a company, you get, if you spend all your active time of your life working for a company, and you eventually retire, all that you'll be left with is just your pension. And most times pension is not something to write home about, because it might just be like 100,000 naira, or how much can pension be at most monthly basis. It depends on your gratuity that they give you after you retire. But even the gratuity itself, how many companies pay huge gratuity? This is a things you need to look, because your gratuity, like I think, is from your savings, your monthly savings. They'll be deducting from your salary, and they'll be saving it for you with Pencom. So they'll give it, and it is not what you should bank on. It's not what you should bank on, to be honest. Yeah, it's not what you should bank on, because it will not be enough in the long run to give you the liberty to do some things you want to do after you exhausted your work phase of life. When you want to relax, you want to go on vacations, you might want to travel out, you can't use 20,000 naira to live that kind of lifestyle. Yet, so don't be too relaxed because you have a job currently working for somebody. Still have it at the back of your mind that, yes, I'm working for somebody, yes, but I'll still need to, at some point, have something of my own. You get, that I can also pass down to my children, because you can't pass on a job to your children. Your children can only inherit the connections you make for them in the company. But if 30 years down the line or 20 years down the line you've resigned or you've retired, sorry to say, and the management has changed in the company, who would remember, who would know you? They won't know you. So it's still going to be like kind of difficult to pass down that to your child if the entire management changes and all your workmates have resigned and you don't have anyone in the system that you can call or something. Everybody are different, younger people and stuff, So it's not something you should bank on. Basically, don't bank on an employment job as what would keep you going till you retire, till you exhaust your work, like the time you can work, which is like let's say 24 to like 50, 55. 55, you should be looking at enjoying the rest of your life till you pass away. Going on tour, seeing the world, like traveling out and gaining new experiences, basically. So, like I said, if you're passing through career phase from studying the university, you will most likely work for someone at first before you now end up saving enough. And if you're smart, after you save enough, you now know what is your purpose, because sometimes the job you get might not be what you actually like doing. It's just a means to an end. Yet most times we accept some jobs because we have to earn a living. It doesn't mean that's what we want to do for the rest of our life, or that is what we feel is our purpose on earth, because everybody knows what it is that they love to do or they can do effortlessly. But sometimes situations might not be as smooth as we anticipate it to be, and we might have to like accept what is available at the moment, settle for what is available at the moment, you get. And it's not like we are doing that because we like it, but it's just situation that forces us sometimes to accept what is available, accept the job that is available. Because if you're not earning anything and you have expenses, you have family to feed, you have, even if you're not married, you have yourself to take care of. Your parents can't be the one taking care of a 24, 25-year-old adult. You have to be productive, because that is your active time. That is the time your body is fit for strenuous activities for a long time and stuff like that. So yes, you start from 8 to 5 for blue collar jobs, and save some money. I will go into how you can save some money and what you should introduce in your lifestyle that will help you to save some money actually. Things that are feasible, not things that are abstract and far from reality, but things that you can easily decide to start doing that will not cost you much. Get that is for career. Then for informal like business, yeah, working under someone, it will take you some time to map up the funds, because I think your boss will just provide accommodation, feeding, and maybe a little pocket money for you. Nothing too tangible will be given to you for the period of time you'll be learning. You get, for the period of time you'll be learning the trade from your boss that owns the business. You will just be learning and you just be like surviving here and there, but you won't be in much funds like that, because it's when you finish your 5 years that you'll be given a huge amount of money. Then whatever I do with that money is up to you. Yeah, that's how it works most of the time. So I've spoken about making money. Get. So now let's now go to the next one. The next one, after you've made the money, now after you start working for a company and they start paying you salaries, or you have finished your 5 years tenure and they've given you a huge sum of money as your, like, more or less like your entitlements, you know, how do you now manage your money? Yeah, managing your money now is another aspect of wealth building, and most people don't really go deep into this aspect, because if you don't manage your money well, before the end of the month, you see yourself already anticipating the next salary to come, like your life depends on it. So it might be like you're living from, like, there's no savings, there's nothing, no investment, nothing tangible that you're doing with your phone. You're just using to survive. You're just surviving. So basically, if anything happens and you lose your job, you won't have any emergency funds to fall onto. You won't have any investments You won't have any savings. These are the issues. So I feel like earning money is one, but you also need to know how to manage the money you're earning. You get, because if you can't manage it well, it will still end up finishing before the end of the month, and you will just start borrowing money. Then when you earn your salary, you will not pay back the money you borrowed. Then you will not see like, what am I living a life that I want, or am I just in the rat race for eternity? So managing your funds now works very well when you understand budgeting, how to budget, how to make budget. And budgeting is not rocket science. It's not something that is very difficult to understand. If you want to know how, you can even ask any AI to actually like create a budget for you based on, this is what I earn, this is how much I think I spend on feeding, on this and this and this, and to give you a comprehensive view on how you should allocate your funds. So if I'm to give an example now, when I'm saying budgeting now, the major things that are essential are like, number one, I would say number one is going to be your recurrent expenses. These are things like feeding, things you need, not things you want. Your recurrent expenses should be comprised of things you need. Things you want are not under recurrent expenses. You know, things you need like feeding, personal care, you get, utilities, electricity, gas, things that are essential for your survival, essential for a proper day to day, like just on a regular basis, things you need on a regular basis. You need to have gas to cook, you need to have food that you eat. Your rent is once a year, so it's not every month, but you have to also be saving towards that, which I'm coming to that also too. Utilities like maybe fuel for your vehicle, or utility like the gas you're going to have to buy, then transportation to your workplace, to and fro. So if you're earning, let me give an example, you're earning like, if you are just finishing school, the first job you get most of the time, if it's not one of the big three or all these massive oil companies in Nigeria that can pay you millions per month, you may earn within the range of 200 to like 500,000 naira. That's if you went to a university and you have a bachelor's degree. You get 200 to 500,000 naira is a reasonable start. I think 500,000 is on the high side, but I'm looking at graduate trainees of some companies like Access Bank is, I think, close to 400 and something. Some other banks pay within that range. Then some oil and gas companies pay far above that, but the opportunities are lesser than banks. Banks employ more people than oil and gas company. So if I'm looking at it now, 500,000 now, or let's say 200,000, you can allocate a certain percentage to your recurrent expenses. These are things that you spend on a day-to-day basis, that are your needs. After your recurrent expenses, you need to even like write it out what you spend on, then also do prioritize it, which is most important, which is the one we can get first, which one is the one you can leave for later. You get, you create a user scale of preference to know which is more important, which can be left out for now, because you won't know, but after a month, you notice that if you're not budgeting properly, you will spend a lot on feeding. You actually spend a lot on feeding. And the reason why you spend a lot on feeding is because you feel when you start having cravings, you want to satisfy all your cravings most of the time when it comes to feeding. And you won't know, but after the first 1 or 2 months, you start seeing the amount of money you're spending on feeding. Especially if you live on your own and your parents are not the one like providing food for you or stuff like that. So aside your recurrent expenses, which can take up to 35% or 40% of your income, you get, you might still have black tax. Black tax now is unique to Africans. It's not a global phenomenon, but most Africans experience black tax mostly when you are working, you're being productive. Your mom might call you, for this, or your auntie will call you for this, or your uncle. Yes, it's not everybody you help all the time because you need to help yourself first. If I can help others, you need to have before you can give. So you need to always put yourself first. Before you listen to anybody's sad story, you have your own sad story to tell them today. If they tell you a sad story, you can tell them on that sad story. Sad story counter sad story. Everybody will do their day. But if you feel like this person is someone that has been good to you or good to your family or is useful to your family one way or the other, you might have maybe an allocation for black tax. And black tax should not be huge like that. It should just be something. I see black tax as my own way of paying my tithes because I'm indirectly helping those that I need, you know. So I just do that and I don't overthink it. So black tax is going to be there. Then some capital expenses. Capital expenses now are like your wants or some things you need to get or you need to do that is urgent that you will do once in like a year or once in 2 years. You get? I think in that capital expenses now you can even allocate some part of it to be saving towards your house rent because your house rent is once a year. And if you're living in an apartment that is let's say 1 million yearly, and you're earning 200,000 monthly. So you can see that you're not even meant to be in that kind of apartment. So let's assume you're living in self-con that is like maybe 700,000 yearly. So if you're earning 200,000 monthly, you might still have 13th month, which is they'll pay you one extra month salary, just your basic salary, or I don't know if they pay it with your additional allowances. That is 13th month. So that 13th month now can just go towards your house. So out of seven, you have only 500,000 to plan towards. So you can say, okay, 500,000 divided by 10, that's 50,000 naira. You get, and which if it's too heavy, you can also reduce it to something that will match 12 months. But remember, you already moved your 13th month salary as your house rent contribution. You get, so if you're earning 200, 250, 13th month is like 250,000 allocated towards your house rent so that you won't feel the burden of saving towards your house rent on a monthly basis. It won't be too heavy in your earnings. You get, so you still have some money left. Like I told you, your recurrent can be 35 to 40% of your earning. 35 to 40% of your earning might be like 60K, 70K that you spend on a monthly basis. If you can make it possible, if you're earning 200,000, which is quite low, but I'm just trying to be realistic because how many jobs pay 500,000 monthly for a start? Not much. You get, so 40% towards your recurrent expenses, and that recurrent expenses now, you might have to also add black tax as part of it. So you have to shrink the black tax very well too. You get many 60% now, you have 60%. How do you now allocate it? You now have to intentionally choose to create some monies that will go into that work for you. You know, you have to use money to make money. You use money to make money basically, but you have to be intentional about it. And when I'm saying be intentional about it, is it has to be like a law that I am not going to spend more than this. So even when I saying your salary, just know that what you're saying is the amount that is 40% of it is what you feel you're earning. The remaining amount of stuff should just be seen as you don't have it. In case if anybody tells you any sad story anywhere, don't listen to a sad story. If you listen to everybody's sad story, you have a sad story to tell somebody too. So you need to pay yourself. You need to prioritize yourself first of all. You need to prioritize yourself and don't be too soft that someone can call you and start crying and you now end up the more the more you solve too many problems without solving your own problem, the worse your problem will become. You get, so put yourself first at all times. That funds now that I'm talking about that should be kept aside anytime you get your salary. we'll now go into the next phase. You get that next phase now is called multiplying your money through investment. Investments now, when anybody hear investment, what they'll think of is someone buying a huge amount of stock or something like that. You don't have to go all the way. Like the saying goes, little drops of water make a mighty ocean. You know, if you can't start doing something when you have little, even when you have billions, you won't be able to do that stuff. If you can't start investing now when you still have little that you're earning, when you start earning billions and quadrillions and trillions, if God permits, you see yourself spending trillions and quadrillions on a monthly basis. Yet, if you don't have the habits now, if you can't start imbibing that habit in you now, don't think you have that habit later on when you're earning a whole lot. You get it's just like saying a person that is not doing something now when he has little. What makes you think he will start doing it when he has much? It is what you train yourself to do that you end up doing in the long run. So you need to create that habit of investing. When I'm saying investing now, there are many ways to invest, and there are many ways to invest either privately or collectively. You can invest collectively with maybe a few friends. You might have some friends that are in the same age range, working and earning similar income as you. You guys can come together, not save money and give one person 1 month. So that no, excuse me. You can choose to like come together, mop up funds. There are some rural areas in southwest, south. Every region has some rural areas. You guys can mop up funds. There's some places that can even sell land for as cheap as 500,000 for a plot. Now imagine you guys now collectively mop up funds and decide to buy maybe 2 plots of land, or every month you save, maybe every quarter you guys buy a plot of land in a very in an inner because the city they are living in today was once a rural area. You get so it's not like as if that place will remain a rural area forever. No, it's a rural area for now, and you yourself now can key into it and have like a portion of it. You don't have to even start building on it. You can just own it and now decide to maybe later start agriculture with it, or still sell it later. That's called land banking. You buy it now, leave it for like 5, 6, 7 years, you sell it back. So if you can do it collectively, you guys can mop up funds together and actually secure plots of land. It might be just maybe every what's it called, 3 months or 4 months or 6 months or yearly. Anyhow you guys didn't fit, but collectively you go faster, you know, you go further. Alone might go faster, but in this case you won't go faster alone because land is not cheap like that. But if you can do it collectively with maybe a few friends, mop up funds together, put your money to work, invest. Now, this thing I'm saying now is real estate too. That's when I'm talking about buying land. This is under real estate category of investment. There are other forms of investment also. But I feel real estate is a very good form of investment because it's something that every sector needs real estate. Every sector needs real estate. So if you're into real estate, you are not wrong. You're in the right. You're not in the wrong. So that is one. But if doing it personally now, my priority will not be real estate. My priority will be investing in yourself. When I'm saying investing in yourself now, investing in yourself means using your money to improve yourself. When I'm saying improve yourself, I'm not referring to improve your looks, so because looks does not uh, like give you long-term benefits compared with your mindset, because your mindset is more important than your looks, because good looks with a faulty mindset is a waste of time. But if you're not looking so perfect, you're not looking so handsome or beautiful, but your mindset is in the right state of mind, like you are thinking properly, you see yourself making the right decisions. And the more right decisions you make, the better your life will be. As simple as that. You can be beautiful and handsome and still make some mistakes or waste your finances, and how does that benefit you in the long run? You get? So investing in yourself. When I say investing in yourself now, you can invest in yourself by learning skills. You can invest in yourself by something that you know you want to pivot into later on after your 8 to 5, your career, your blue collar job. You can start learning that thing now. Or if you're working in a company that is into engineering or something, and you know, for you to scale up in your place of work, you need to have some certifications or professional courses that you need to take. Use part of your earnings to take those things, those courses, those certifications. When you get them, those things now would give you the means to earn higher. And the more you earn, the more you can spend. So basically, investing in yourself can never be a waste of time. Yet, so far as you're alive, what you've invested in yourself has the potential to always give you more returns. You get? So for me, if you're working on a personal level, investing in yourself should be number one. Number two, now you can look at real estate. I'm telling you about. And it's not a must you like target. When you can target 3 years, I'll save towards buying a land and I'll save for 3 years. If you save 50,000 naira every month for a year, that is like 600,000 naira. There's some places that can buy a plot of land for less than 600,000 naira. But let me not go too far. Let's say 50,000 naira. And you save for 3 months, that is for 3 years, that is 1.5 million or 1.8 million or thereabout. If you 1.8 million, but let's say anything might happen, you might not save some months. Let us say 1.5 flats. 1.5 million naira can definitely give you a plot of land in some rural areas. You get, and that's under 3 years. So in 3 years of you being in the labor market, you already have a piece of land. And you can't be thinking of marriage if you don't have a piece of land already yet, because will you be paying house rent for the rest of your life? Or when you have more responsibilities that you'll not be able to save towards such capital intensive projects like buying a land? So you need to have a land already before you can start thinking of getting married and living in a rented apartment. Then when you are married, you can now pull funds together and start developing the land you own. It's a gradual process, but you need to start from somewhere. You can't just wake up and get married and you don't have a land, or you don't even have a a plan on how you buy the land, or you don't even have like it's never in your mind. You're living in a rented apartment and you think life is going to go on like that. Rent is going up every year. Rent is not coming down anywhere in the world. The more developed a city is, the higher the rent will be most times. Only if it's a socialist economy that we're living in, whereby the government kind of regulates the maximum they can charge for some things, and that's not how it is in most part of the world. We're in a capitalist economy whereby everybody wants to make as much as they can make without caring if the next person has eaten today or has anything left in his coffers. You get? So the investments, I've told you of land, I've told you of investing in yourself. If you're looking at collectively for investing, land should be number one. If you're looking at personally, investing personally, start from investing in yourself. When you invest in yourself, you have more value. And when you have more value, you can attract, you definitely demand, your value would give you room to earn more. And the more you earn, the more you can invest into other things. So investing in yourself should be number one. Read books also. So some books you read that changes your mindset on. You'll not see yourself falling for every thought, every cravings that come your way. It's not everything that you just easily give into. There's some books that will give you the discipline to save, discipline to work with your budget. You get? Some books open your mind. Yeah, it's good to read books, and I think if you want to read books, don't read books on what is it called, smartphone. Read books, physical books. If you are current with the trend happening globally, um, our generation, this Gen Z generation is the first generation that is not is not smarter than generation before them. Since they introduced this electronic stuff in teaching, learning, it's not working. So people are transitioning back to chalk and sorry, like writing with your pen and paper, not using tablet to just swipe and the rest. I think the more you write out things or read things physically, interact with things physically, not electronically. I think humans learn more or learn better. Let me use what learn better. So read physical books. You would value it more than reading electronic. Because if you're reading books on your phone or on your laptop, distractions can come at any second. And once you are distracted, you are distracted. You pause, you attend to this, you come back to the app, notification from social media, trends, you pause. And so just get physical books that you can know when you are reading, you can maybe play some calming songs. There's some songs you can play like binaural music. I don't know if you listen to binaural sounds, but I listen to binaural sounds. Binaural sounds are just sounds that are calming. You don't have any lyric, just sounds, some are of nature, some are just calming sound that puts your mind in a state of focus on whatever you're doing. You get so read books to give you new insight into things you don't know of, to change your perspective on so many things because reading is never a bad thing to do. It's never a bad thing to do. So I've talked about investing in yourself. I've talked about investing in real estate. The third one that I think you should also look at or look into is investing in this finance generally, which is like investing in stocks, investing in treasury bills, investing in money markets, mutual funds. I think you should even focus more on mutual fund. Mutual funds, how the it has I think the benefit is more, but it might be slightly less than treasury bill. But I feel mutual funds are better than treasury bill to me. I just feel like they are better than treasury bills in the long run because treasury bill is kind of fixed, but mutual funds is they invest in multiple things for you. So if any of those multiple things are doing exceedingly well, your interest rates per month will increase and it's compounded. You get so I know of Stanbic. Stanbic is good. GT Bank has their own. There are some mutual funds that you can pull out money anytime you want when there's an emergency. GT Bank has that. I think Stanbic has that. But I think Stanbic is more of investment based. So I might recommend Stanbic Bank easily before I can recommend GT Bank. But GT Bank has it. And another reason why I feel GT Bank is one you might also consider too is because I think I've given it a try. I've used XY amount of money and I've seen it work and I'm like, okay, this works. But I think Stanbic is better for me. So you can look at Stanbic for mutual funds. If you don't have a Stanbic account, you can go to any of their physical branches and open an account with them. Speak to them about mutual funds. I want to start mutual funds. You get mutual funds is very nice because it's compounded. Your interest rate of this month will be added to your capital, and that will increase your capital to a new like you get, and it keeps on compounding, and you just have to just keep on investing in, keep on putting in funds there, and let your money work for you. Mutual funds can give you up to 15% annually. So it might not look much because inflation is reducing in Nigeria now. So if it was up to 20 something percent, but now it's down to 15. So it's something you can try. You can look into it. Money markets is also there too. Maybe like 6 months, can target 6 months or 1 year or thereabout. But I think mutual fund is better. Mutual fund is better for me. Is a more better option. I'll prefer mutual funds over any of the other ones. Stocks is not bad. Buying stock, but you need to know the stock to buy, like, and why are you buying? Are you buying it based on what you're hearing? Are you buying it based on what you're seeing on the news? Like, they're about to acquire this, they're about to do this, so you want to key in. Like now, Dante is about to launch his own um stock. This thing that should be in September. The way Tesla did theirs. The way SpaceX did theirs, many people bought into it, but after a while, it's like nosedived for a while. So you might not be in a haste to buy stocks when everybody's talking about it, because when there is a buzz over something, that those that will benefit are those that have already entered before you enter. So as I entering, they are existing, and as they're existing, the stock value will go down a little bit, then to now start rising back. So, and that going down phase, you might not be patient, you might go and pull out your funds and you've lost. You get, so I feel stock is not bad, but you need to know your reason, a meaningful reason why you are going, just that you trust their history of growth, their growth history, or you trust they have a new management or something significant is the reason why you are buying the stock, not just because you are told that to buy this stock because everybody's buying the stock. No, don't follow the crowd. Do your analysis. You know, do your own research. Know what, know when, know why. You get, so that's for stock, but I still prefer mutual funds out of all of them. You get, so if you can implement distance, which is you earn, you manage, then you multiply. The more you do this, the better things will be for you. Excuse me. You don't have to do too much, just consistency. You know, just consistency is all you need. Once you're consistent, you see yourself doing things that you didn't think you were able to do, or having things you didn't think you were able to have. But the mindset needs to be there. You need to work on your mindset. Your mindset is number one. You need to work on your mindset. If you can work on your mindset and your mindset is fixed, if you can work on your mindset. Now, I've told you these things now, and these are some things you would hear when you go for all this seminar or you go for all this investment, this and that. They'll tell you this, but they'll tell you this in a more fancy, in a in a more fanciful way. But what are you going to do about it? Will you take action, or will it just be okay? I've heard, I would, but you don't end up doing anything? Procrastination, and your next salary will come. Today's WhatsApp. Today's I think 17th. Okay, today's 18th. The next salary will come in like maybe 12 days, 10 to 12 days. How would you allocate that funds that you get? Are you aware that if you don't start now, you might not end up starting anything at the end of the day? So you need to be conscious, you need to make conscious efforts to ensure you take action. The earlier you take action, the better for you. So if you follow these three things I've mentioned to you now, before the end of the year, you see that there will be some differences in your financial life. You know, the things you're spending money on, you start realizing it. And sometimes, if you can, when you get your bank statement from your salary account, find a way to remove the security that the bank adds. The bank always lock your bank statement with either your part of your account number or something like that. So just find a way to remove the security and upload it to either ChatGPT or Cloud or any of this AI. Let it analyze and give you a quick visual analysis of how your money was spent, how much was spent on this. Okay, because based on the transaction descriptions, the AI will be able to know what that money was for. Is it just some that is sent to people? Generally, you see, okay, that one can be in a category. Then the ones for utilities, buying data, buying airtime, buying this or that, you see it. So be adding transaction descriptions so that when you're uploading to the AI, it will be able to know how to categorize your expenses, so you can see where your money is going to. You'll be able to see where's my money going to, what and what and what is am I spending money on most of the time, you get? So you'll know if it's feeding, because I feel it most times we underrate how much you spend on feeding. But it's when you now see the actual amount that you're spending on feeding on a monthly basis, even if you're not cooking from home, it's even worse. If you're cooking from home and you are like bulk cooking, you cook in bulk and you store it and everything, you might not be spending that much. But if you're cooking from home just once in a while and you're eating out when you're at work, you see your colleague has bought pizza, you order pizza today, tomorrow you're ordering shawarma, next tomorrow you're ordering this. If you're living without planning, you're planning to fail, you know. So you need to live with a plan that is meaningful. Like eating from home is a little more healthy so than eating outside. Because you don't know how they made those things, the quality, the hygiene and everything involved. You get, so just actually doing all of this will make a big difference in your finances, and I'm sure you'll be grateful that you decided to take action. If you eventually take action, you'll find yourself being grateful for making that decision in the long run. You know. So uh I have other things to say, but I want to know if you guys have any question or you have anything that is not clear from all I've said now. Is there anything that was not clear? Or anything that you still need some explanation around? You know, um I'm here to respond to whatever questions you may have. You know, can drop it in the comment section. Let me know what it is that it's not clear to you, so I can talk more about it and try and make it clear to you. Ah, man, the weekend is here. Mm. So I'm looking for your questions. If you don't have any question, then I've actually spoken about what I came online today to speak about. You know, your finances is a big factor, especially if for both male and female. But for males, you need to be you need to be careful. Oh. You need to be very careful. Women don't date downwards. Oh. Only men can date downwards. So you need to be careful with your finances because your source of income, if you lose your source of income today, I can bet you that 75% of all the people around you, you won't be seeing them around you again. You know, so you have to hold it tight very well. Like, don't joke with it though. Don't even for one day think you can just decide to live your life anyhow and get broke and you bounce back. God will provide. Yes, God will provide you with air to breathe. You know, So, God will provide you with the natural tools, but it doesn't mean that you get finance immediately just by praying or by trying to, So just don't ever put yourself in that position whereby you don't have anything that is giving you something every day or every week or every month. There are many ways to earn money now. Is people now the idea of work hard, work hard. You don't have to work hard. You have to work smart. Smart working, work wisely, not even work hard. Because hard work is not what makes billionaires. Billionaires are not born from hard work. From smart work. You see a person that's an investment banker that's, started from humble beginnings, started from learning, or started from understanding forex, or started from networking. You know, they might end up meeting a big client that would give them some funds for them to manage and stuff like that. And you see them earning maybe 10% or 5% of like 50 million there. That's a huge money compared to someone that is working hard, suffering, sweating day by day. It's not, you don't have to, it's not a must that you must sweat before you earn a good living. If you can use your brain properly, with what is in your head, you can earn a lot of good money just from doing things that does not involve much physical stress. You get there are even remote works now. Lots of remote work everywhere now. It depends on how content you are to be informed of what is like available out there. So you need to put yourself in the right environment. Anytime you want to go out, let it be that you're going out to somewhere meaningful or somewhere you can meet meaningful like minds. You should be a smart person. For you to be thinking of managing your finances, that means you're smart to an extent. So you won't think of how to manage your finances. But even with that, the kind of places you go to determines the kind of people you can easily meet. So Prioritize places that you meet people of value, that you feel have more value than you or have similar interests as you do. You know, those are kind of places that you can network, and from that networking that you do, you might find someone that can give you something that would give you more funds or opportunities that exist. If you just go to a place where you can be entertained only, you might not find anybody of value there, because powerful people don't really have time for entertainment. Entertainment is a once in a while, not all the time. Because they have things to work on, they have things to think of, they have things to focus on, they have businesses to run, to manage, they have plans to execute. So how would they have time for entertainment? Entertainment is for someone that is a consumer. You're not producing anything, you're not adding any value for you to value entertainment so much. Is it footballers that have time for entertainment? Footballers that are trained how many times? Or is it people working? Or is it people managing businesses? Who has time for entertainment? It's those that are not doing anything. So entertainment should not be all the time. It should be once in a while that you can see yourself, like, just to go and relax. You can go for to see a movie. You know, that is those are your wants, not your needs. And if you're not earning a lot of money, you should know that you're meant to allocate lesser amounts to your wants. Just focus on your need and build. Once you build to an extent, your monies might increase based on if you're promoted, or if you, how will I put it, you finished your session of working as somebody, or you found on multiple streams of income. You can be working at home in the evening and working out there, or there are many ways to just find a way around it. But basically, like, don't joke with your source of income as a guy, even for women too, but fast for guys majorly. Don't joke with it too. It's a very, very dangerous, an endless pit. If you fall in the endless pit of going broke and not having any source of income, it is very bad. It's better to have something that that you are guaranteed of on a monthly basis, or you're guaranteed that every 2 weeks you earn this from this. Even if you go broke, at least you're expecting something to come back. But once you lose your source of income as a guy and you don't find it a replacement quickly, that period can be hellish. And I won't want you to pass through that. So I'll just give you a summary again. Number one is what? Make money. How do you make money, or how do you earn money slash make money? Working for somebody or working for yourself. If you're working for somebody, don't be too relaxed. So you don't waste your time. You think, I'll keep on working here forever, and maybe they sack you, it catches you unaware. You know, don't be too relaxed while working for somebody. Always feel like I can be replaced tomorrow. Anything can happen and you can replace me tomorrow. So that will give you this ginger to to invest your money that you're earning wisely. Number two, manage your funds. How do you manage your money? By budgeting. Have a budget and stick to your budget. Excuse me. If you stick to your budget, if someone calls you, hey, someone's leg was cut off, is amputated, we need 50,000 naira now to do this. Omo, if it's outside your budget, tell them I don't have, because you don't have actually. The one that is there is for something. So how do you have? You don't have. Get so stick to your budget, and remember, if you listen to every touching story that comes your way, at some point you too you have a touching story, and there will be nobody that listen to your own, because you are the one giving. So who will not give to you? Nobody. Yet, so be smart, be wise, apply sense in everything you do. You know, investment. I've told you about investment, investing in yourself, investing in real estate. Investing in real estate is not that you go and buy a land in banana. I told you, look for rural areas, places that you don't even have plans of making use of now. 4, 5, 6 years from now, that area now will have developed to an extent that you can also sell it and get your money back, or you can start farming, good farming, or lease it out for farming for another person to farm there. The person will be paying you on a yearly basis or whatever, and you still own the land. You know, That is land, investing in yourself, reading books, upgrading your skill sets to increase your potential earnings. You know, money markets, stock, treasury bills is there. But my own favorite, mutual fund. That is still the one I can recommend to anyone. Mutual fund is still my favorite. You know, I prefer mutual fund over treasury bills. You know, after you invest for a while, you start seeing returns. Keep on putting your returns in. Don't be in a haste to spend your earnings, your savings. Don't be in a haste to buy a new phone. There's always a new phone every year. There's always a new iPhone every year. There's always a new Samsung every year. So if you're using a good phone currently, like don't be in a haste. Phones I have, at least this is over 1 year. This is close to 2 years. So I'm not in a haste to change them. It's serving me. I'm managing it. I'm maintaining it like that. You know, just be. Don't be in a haste to spend. You know, that's not something that happened to some of us. Once we start having money, we're in a haste to spend. It's like we need to spend this money before next week. It'll be disturbing you to spend it. Just stick to your budgets. If you have strong budgeting plan, you see yourself that you won't really have much money to spend like that because all the monies will be in are allocated for something. You know, so you won't have excess money that is just sitting in your bank, not doing anything. How much does the bank pay you as interest rates per month? Maybe 1.5% you get, or 2%. Is that what you want your money to be providing for you? 2% times this thing is not something that it's never up to 1.5%. So I feel like 1.5 is even too high. You know, so put your money to work, let your money work for you. And let it work for you in a way that will yield you returns in the long run, not just in the short term, but in the long run. You know, if you invest in yourself, you gain new skills, you can use those skills to apply for a better job in another company, you know, or the same, maybe same, I'll not say same department, but if you're working in HR and you're doing this, you can earn in that thing and apply for that stuff in HR and that company or stuff like that. Basically, the more companies you move around, the higher your pay because this company that you're moving to will not pay you what they're paying you in your previous company, or they will not pay you less than that. So the more things you learn and you start applying for jobs, you see yourself getting new jobs. Then from there, your pay will increase. You work there for a while, you move to a new job because you don't own those companies. So don't feel like I have to work here for 10 years. Once you work in a place for 2 years, before you even clock 2 years, once you work in a place for 1 year and they confirm you as a staff, start applying for that jobs. Start applying for that jobs. You get, if you find out a better job now within 4 months, that is 1 month, sorry, 1 year, 4 months, apply for your the time that you're leaving, give them 3 week notice, leave, move, do it, rinse and repeat, do it 1, 2, 3, and that is like 3 companies at least close to 6 years. Since 6 years time, you should be earning way higher than what you were earning first, compared to you spending 6 years in one company. 6 years in one company, they might increase your salary by maybe I don't even know, but it won't be as much as if you're moving around different companies. You have a significant salary increment, you know. So please manage your finances, take action. Don't be docile, take action actually, because that is the only way you can see something change. If you keep on doing the same thing, don't expect a different result. You get take action, do something different that you haven't done before. Make use of your frontal lobe, put it to good work, read books, invest in yourself, gain certifications, gain skills that you know you can use in multiple years from now to come, you know. So that is that. I've been expecting your questions, bro. Since there's no question, I think I'm done. So I wish you all a happy weekend. My regards to your guidance, and if you live alone, my regards to your partners and everyone that's giving you peace of mind. Wish you all the best. Uh, have a nice weekend ahead. Remember, do something different to get a different outcome. You can't keep on doing the same thing and expecting something different. All right. Bye for now.